Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Corinne and this is CoryCreates, where I share with you all of my creative endeavors. Today I am talking to you about cross stitch, and sometimes I talk a little bit about my quilting, and I dabble in some garment sewing and bag sewing from time to time. So thank you for stopping by and staying and hanging out with me today. Today is Sunday, March 3rd, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 23. So glad to be back with you all. It's been a little bit longer than I intended, but if you are a teacher like me, you know that February is short and February is packed with activities. I can't even tell you, okay? Between my activities at work, I'm a high school teacher, and my children's activities, we've been on the go the entire month of February. So, and if I recall last year, I don't think I did a video in February because I just could not get myself together. And this year was no exception. So I am very happy to be back with you. Thank you if you are a returning viewer. So glad to be back before you. Thank you for all your kind comments. And if you are new here, and I do have quite a few new people, welcome. Please take a moment, if this is your first time with me, to like and subscribe, especially if you see if the things that I am doing are of interest to you. So just a very, very quick life update. Like I said, my senior, she's busy. She's trying to figure out where she's going to school. She's down to her final two. She's doing scholarship interviews. She's doing her last campus visit during spring break in a couple of weeks. So we are in the throes of her getting the information she needs to make her final decision for college. My little guy, he's busy, band, all the things. They're both doing great in school, so can't complain. So let's jump into what we are going to talk about today. I have some whips. I have a new start. As you all know, I am doing 50 projects this year, 25 new starts, hopefully 25 finishes. So I am continuing with that, and I do have a new start to add to the list. I think I currently have 20 whips total, which I'm totally fine with that. That's a good number. In addition to my whips and my new start, I am going to do a quick recap of my finishes from 2023. I had 11 finishes and 1 FFO of an old finish. And then I've got some investments that I have stacked up since Christmas that I had not shared. And I've got some shout outs and some additional thank yous, plans. And I can't thank you all enough for your continued support of my Etsy shop. I have new project bags going up constantly now that we're through the holidays. So I just wanted to make sure I did thank you all from the beginning for those of you that have just continued to support. And my shop is Layla P Creations on Etsy. And if you feel like it, go over there and check it out. It is linked below. So let's just jump right into it, you all. I'm going to start with my smaller whips, okay? The first whip that I want to share with you is my stitch along. I have never done a stitch along before, and I am enjoying this one very much. This is 1 Dozen Quakers. It is a stitch along started by EJ of the Sunshine Stitchers, and if you're interested in information about it, you can go to her Instagram, and I believe her Instagram is EJ Creates on Instagram, and then you can go to the Sunshine Stitchers Facebook page, and she has this on there broken down into 12 sections. And I will insert a picture here of those 12 sections. And we are currently in March. I was successful and finished January and February on time. Super proud of myself because, like I said, I've never done a stitch along before. And I have not really pursued doing them because I'm very bad at keeping up with plans that other people make. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. But this one is very doable. I've never done a Quaker. I've never done a Rosewood Manor chart. So this is my first one. I have a couple of others of hers that I really want to do, but I felt like this would be a good way to break the ice, jump right in, and I'm really enjoying it. This is being done on a 28 count Vapor by Atomic Ranch. And here is my progress. I am not doing the called for flosses, but I am doing a similar colorway in purples. Kind of purples and more burgundies. But here's where I am. I think last time I was somewhere in here. And as you can see, I have moved over into the final motif that is on this row. Okay, so by the time I get to the end of this motif, that'll be January, February, and March complete. But I'm very pleased with it. This is a variegated floss called Masquerade from Color and Cotton that I picked out for something else, but I decided to use it for this. So I'm doing a combination of Color and Cotton. I think I've got a couple of Color and Cotton. This border and the numbers are Color and Cotton Bouquet. And then the rest of these are DMC. So if you're interested in knowing what I'm using for this, please let me know. And I'll be happy to post it if you're interested. But so far, so good. I'm super pleased with it. It's going pretty fast, and like I said, she has divided the chart into 12 pieces, and then in December, which is when it ends, it started this past December and it ends in December 2024, but there's no portion of the chart assigned to December 2024. So if you're behind, you have all of that month to get caught up. So I'm very pleased with it and excited about 1 dozen Quakers. And the hashtag for this is, and I'll put it down below, is Bake Me a Quaker Sal. So far, I'm super happy with my first stitch along. We've been having monthly get-togethers on Zoom. Unfortunately, our one for March was this past Friday the 1st, and I missed it. I had something else going on. I was hanging out with my mom and doing some errands, so I did not get on to the Zoom call, but it is not too late to join. You can always go over to the Sunshine Stitchers page or even go to their Flosstube, and you will see, and they are talking about information about the stitch along. So that is my first whip. Moving along, and I don't know if you all can hear, but it is very windy. It is unseasonably warm here in St. Louis. You all, it is crazy. We had 280+ degree weather days last week. It was still February. We've had quite a number of 60s and 70s throughout the month of February. It's 2 weeks from this past Friday, we had 6 inches of snow. And then a week later, we had 80 degrees. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we have very wide fluctuations of weather here in the Midwest anyway, but this is even abnormal for us. I think right now, I can tell you what the degrees, it's 75 degrees outside on March 3rd. Normally, we're still wondering, are we going to get another snow? So we will see. But I saw a gnat in my house. I wasn't happy. You know, it's like, no, it's too early for all that. But that's where we are. So even though I prefer warm weather, I just think it's a little early. So we'll see how the rest of the year plays out. And that dozen Quakers is in this project bag that I made. And I like this one because it's a flap. And I'm debating if I'm going to try some more of those. All right, my next whip is my Lipton tea logo. I do not have a cover picture for this chart because somebody sent me these charts. Oh, you all, it's been a good 25 years ago. I used to be on one of those cross stitch boards in the early days of the internet, and we used to trade charts, and somebody sent these to me. So I have no clue where it came from. I don't know what book it's in, but I do know it was in a collection of various old vintage logos. So this is the Lipton iced tea guy. He's being done on 14 count Aida in red, okay? And it just came out of my stash. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the last time I worked on 14 count Aida, but I'm not disliking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to finishing this. But here's where we are now. Hopefully I already put up where I was last month, but I have started on his jacket right in here. I think I had to finish a little bit of his face. I've done this and I've started on this jacket. Now, thank you to the person in my comments who left me what her theory was about the chart. I cannot show you the chart because that's all I have, but my chart was obviously a photocopy because this person in the comments mentioned that it was probably a color chart. Because remember, y'all, last month I was fussing about the fact they only used 2 symbols in the whole doggone chart. And one was an X and one was like a oval, just an oval that was completely colored in. But that symbol went for 2 different colors, as did the X. And so I thought about what she said, that it was probably a color chart. So I went to Pinterest and I did find the chart on Pinterest. And it was not just black ink, but some of the symbols were in red. So that's why it was so confusing, because I told you all, I went and found a picture of the logo itself. And that's what I did to match my colors. I don't know if you can see this, but right here, this is a brown. This is his collar on his jacket. Well, it turns out I made a mistake, and this, the black up here, should have been brown also. But now that I've done both colors on there, because my plan was to just finish this brown down here and go back up and frog that and make it brown, but I don't like the brown. I like the black. I think that shows up much better on this bright red, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna frog this and make it black, and then continue with anything else on his body that was supposed to be brown. I'm just gonna make it black, even though that wasn't exactly correct. But I was going by the logo that I found, and he looks like it's all this, his brim of his hat and his collar on his shirt, all of it looks black. So that's what I did. I didn't even look at the chart really, or look at my colors. I just picked the black up and started using it. So that is my Lipton iced tea guy, Sir Thomas Lipton. And I've got a long way to go, but I'm making good progress. I'm gonna try my best for March to finish his body. And then that way I can move on to the teacup over here and then the words Lipton at the top. So very pleased with him. He's looking good. All right, we're gonna keep everything moving along, and I'm gonna go ahead and share my big girl, and that is Vintage Baker. Let me show you, sorry for this zipper, what the pattern looks like. But this is my Heaven and Earth Designs. It is being done on a 25 count Lugana in antique white. I love 25 count. I've got to find some more things to do 25 count on this year. But here's what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. My goal for this year is simply a row finish. Okay, that was my goal for last year and I failed miserably. So row finish is what I'm going for. The count on this is 650 by 464. Hands down the biggest picture I've ever done. And I started this in May 2022 after I finished my first Heaven and Earth design. And I don't think I mentioned it on the other ones, but December was my start date for 12 Quakers, dozen Quakers, and January 1st was my start date for Lipton. So here's where we are, because hopefully I've already put up where I was last month. Let me share my stats with you on this one. So far, since my last video, I've done 779 stitches. You all, I have hit a wall right here. I don't know if you can see her dress. Woo! The number of ninja stitches in this dress. It's mostly cream, as you can see, but there's so many other small stitches. I mean, just a pink, 3 or 4 pinks here, a couple of blues here, a purple here. I mean, I had there's at least 3 different colors that only had 1 stitch. But that is what makes Heaven and Earth Designs so effective, is those random colored stitches everywhere. That's what makes them so lifelike. So I don't want to fudge them if I can. But this is where we are. I don't have it on here. Let me unclip this so you all can see. But my row finish is right here where that line is. So I've got a ways to go. I grid my own fabric. I just find that to be more effective for me. I also find Easy Grid to be kind of stiff, so that's why I don't use it. But this is Vintage Baker, and hopefully I'm holding it steady in there. But she's magnificent. I love her. I did not do as many stitches as I wanted to in February. I'm currently at 46,559 stitches out of 301,600 stitches. And that is 15.44%. So it's slow going, but I'm just going to keep pressing on. Again, row finish is the goal for this year. I have at least 10 other Heaven and Earth designs in my stash. There is one other one that I really want to buy, but I haven't even, I'm like, it's not going anywhere. She does have sales from time to time, so if you are interested in doing one, I highly recommend it. I keep saying I'm gonna do a video on how I tackle this and how I started. And I still might do that. Just do a Flosstube extra if you're interested on how to tackle one of these large designs. I love them. I love big pieces. But I've kind of gotten into the habit now of incorporating more small pieces or smaller stitches in my rotation and in my whip list. So that is Vintage Baker. And she's still rolling along, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work on her. All right. The next one is my new start. And you all, once you see it, you will see why I didn't get as much done on Vintage Baker as I had planned, because I did a lot of stitching on this next one. With it being Black History Month in February, I wanted to do something that was more cultural for me, or at least hinted at that. So I went with a sampler that I purchased at Needlework Galleria last year, and it had been on my list, and I finally got around to getting it. And that is Silver Creek Sampler's Seeds of Freedom. And it is a poem, and I'll just kind of leave it up there for you to see. But it's in reference to the Civil War. And I don't usually do anything Civil War related, but I'm making an exception for this one. And I don't think I have to explain why I don't gravitate towards projects that have the Civil War as a subject. But this one I wanted to make an exception for because I did like it. And I thought it was well done. So the poem says, "'Twas 1861, the Civil War had just begun. In 1863, Lincoln declared all slaves free. In 1865, few good men were left alive. I'll pay respects to all I owe and help their seeds of freedom grow." So I did a color conversion on this, on some of them. Okay, these are mostly color and cotton. I did use the called for if I could not find a substitute that I liked in color and cotton. But I'm doing that on a lot of projects that have various overdyed threads. If I can find something comparable or even an exact match in color and cotton, I prefer to buy hers. As many of you know, color and cotton is like literally 7 minutes down the road for me. So I have to hold it in and rein it in. But when I go, I have a list. This is being done on a color and cotton limited edition fabric, 32 count Lugana. I'm just going to hold up the SKU in case you want to see if you can scan it on your barcode scanner on your phone. It is a limited edition, so it does not have a color assigned to it. It's just a name. So it's SKU number 25204. Okay, if you're interested in trying to find it. But it's color and cotton and it's 32 count Lugana. And I still got it in a Q-snap. But I'm really enjoying it. And I met my goal. My goal for the month was to do the top part. Oh, there it is. My goal was to get this first section done up here at the top. And I was successful. So I got the first stanza, or the first line of the poem done. And then this first motif here. And now I'm working on the flag down here. And I did the eagle. I'm really enjoying it. I'm starting to really enjoy doing letters. And I'm just very pleased with it. She has a new one out that just came out at market that I may do. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. If I do, I'll put it down below. But this is a quick stitch. Like I said, I started this on February. Let me look at my notes. I hope I wrote it down. I did. I started this on February 11th. So not even a full month has passed since I started it. But it's going very well. I'm not sure how much love it's going to get in March because I have some other things that I would like to pick up. But here are my color and cotton conversions, the ones that I did convert. I just kind of wrote it next to it, but if anybody's interested, I can make that neat and put it down below if anybody's interested. But if you want to take a screenshot, there's the colors that I used. My favorite substitution was Weeks Dye Works Crimson, and I substituted that for Apple Picking. And I just love those rich reds and burgundies. But I really like it. And I wanted to do something that I like because a lot of the lettering is in that color. But I did convert most of them. I think only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I did not convert. And one of them I didn't convert it because I already had it. So I didn't need to convert it. And I think I'm missing one, but I haven't gotten to it yet in the chart. So I am going to go and pick up that last one. But this one is living in one of my African print bags. One of my favorite ones. And that is Seeds of Freedom. It is a very quick stitch and a very satisfying stitch. So I'm looking forward to continuing with this. I definitely want to finish it before the end of the year. So that was my new start for February. So in my list of 25, I'm on 2. So I have not done as many starts as I probably should in order to keep up. But you all, I think I mentioned this in my last video. I'm not a big starter. I like to get things done. I like to get things finished. So that is going to be a challenge for me, is to get things started. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you my finishes from 2023. I'm going to do my best to share these 11 2023 finishes as quickly as I can, because like I said, you all have seen them. But I just wanted to recap for me, for you, in case you wanted to write any of these down. But I just want to recap what I did and just be able to remember what I did more clearly. I had 11 finishes and 1 fully finished. So I'm going to share the fully finished first, because it is a very old whip that I turned into a project bag. This was Precious Moments. I believe the name of it was Serve the Lord with Gladness. I just did not put the words on it, but I just liked her little plate of salad and the colors and the yellow. And I found this was a scrap of fabric that we had at work. We had a whole bin at work. For those of you that don't know, I'm a family consumer science teacher and we teach sewing. And this was a fabric in our department that we had in a big bin full of home decor fabrics that, you know how you have them on those big panels that you can kind of flip through at the store. Well, somebody had donated those to us, and we were going through them and we were getting rid of a lot of stuff that we weren't going to be using because we were moving to a new department. We got a whole new building and a new classrooms and everything. So we were purging basically. And I saw this and I was like, oh, I've got to take that. Y'all know how I feel about florals. But this is Precious Moments, Serve the Lord with Gladness. It holds a project that I will be starting this summer, and I will share that with you then. But very pleased with how this turned out. And I just did a yellow checkerboard lining in there. So that is my one FFO. I have got to do better this year, you all. I must. The next one is the department store by, I believe it's Country Cottage Needleworks. I am doing these all in one piece, so I kind of hesitated to call this a finish, but these are individual charts, so I'm counting it as a finish. This is the department store. I have decided to put Macy's in here, and I will do that a little bit later when I pick up a red color again. But super pleased. The only thing I changed was I changed Santa's skin color. I think I'm going to lighten him up a little bit, his skin tone a little bit. But other than that, I love it. One of my plans for March is to continue with this. And the next one in the series is the theater. So that will be the one that I will start on next. And in that same vein, I am working on Little House Needleworks. Oh, and that's being held in this Christmas bag. And I completed 2 of the Hometown Holiday series last year. And they were the Needlework Shop and the bookstore. And this is being done on a 32 count Lugana in platinum. I'm also going to use taupe for some of the others because I'm going to be able to fit about 4 on this piece of fabric. So these are the first 2. And the Big City Christmas is being done on 32 count also, Lugana. And I can't think of the color right now, but I'll make sure I put it in the description. But that is Hometown Holiday. I have a number of these patterns. I think I have 11 total, and I have maybe 3 or 4 that I still want to get. And the one I'm going to go with next is the most recent release, the Ice Cream Shop. That is the one I'm going to tackle next. So those are my first 4 finishes of 2023. And Hometown Holiday is in this project bag. So the next one is one of my last finishes of 2023, and I'm not even going to put it all the way on the board because, like I said, you all have seen it, but this is Sweater Weather by October House. This is done on a 28 count mushroom Lugana, called for colors, but I did switch around some of the colors and where they were used. I used called for, but I did move them around and use them, some of them in a different place. So very pleased with this one. This one is destined for a pillow finish, but I have not picked what I'm going to do it on. Probably some type of plaid. So again, that's October House. This next one was a freebie. I do not know how you can find it. I would say maybe do a search. Just put in Grinch cross stitch freebie because that is how I found it. But I tried to look for it and see if I could post it when I finished it earlier, but I was not able to find it again. Luckily, I had printed it. But this is on an 18 count white Ada, and this is just a little Grinch. He had quite a few color changes in him for him to be so small, but I enjoyed working on him. He was a little time consuming, but worth it because it really looks like the Grinch. And to finish him, I think I'm going to make an ornament, of course, out of him. I have this little wooden ornament that I got from Michael's on clearance last Christmas. And then I have some Grinch fabric. So it's going to be a toss-up between using that or making a pillow with this fabric. I may just back this with the fabric. I don't know. And here's the reason why I don't get a lot of fully finished items, because I can't ever decide. So I know it's an ornament. That's all I got. Up next, this was a freebie also from Colorado Cross Stitcher. This is Thankful. And if you want to get this one, it's still very much up on her website. Thankful. I just used the called for DMCs, and this is a 18 count. Yep, an 18 count ivory Ada. I enjoyed working on this one. This was an early 2023 finish because I started it around Thanksgiving in 2022. So that was a great fun stitch. And this is probably going to be the backing fabric for it. Just some harvest type fabric. I think that'll go well for a pillow. So again, that's Thankful. It's a freebie by Colorado Cross Stitcher. Look her up. She's amazing. She did recently a Flosstube about the use of color and warms and cools, and that's something as a FACS teacher I have had to work with and teach my students for sewing, how to pick fabrics that go together, etc., etc. But she did an amazing job and has a little kit that she has put together of flosses in warms and cools. So if you're doing a color conversion, if you're designing, you could very easily figure out how colors work together. Go watch her latest Flosstube. It's amazing. If I remember, I'll put the number of the Flosstube episode down below. But I always get a wealth of knowledge from her when I watch her videos. And she is from Kirkwood, which is where I work. So I always enjoy her stories about Kirkwood because most of the time I can figure out where she's talking about or what she's talking about. The next one, this is Tiny Modernist Mouse Christmas Decorating. I believe that's what it's called. This is done on a 32 count ivory Lugana. And I loved working on this one. She has a new one out, I believe, that's Strawberry Jam. I'm getting it. But I made one change, I believe, on the red on this. I changed it. I believe it called for Lancaster red, and I think I used Louisiana hot sauce. Both of those colors are Weeks Dye Works. But other than that, I used the called for. Love it. My plan is to do a pillow finish or ornament pillow, and I have pulled this red and white stripe to use for that. So again, that's Tiny Modernist, another one of my, quickly becoming one of my favorite designers as well. Tiny Modernist Mouse Christmas Decorating. This next one was a recent finish as well. This is the 2004 Prairie Schooler Santa. He's done on a 20 count. I believe it is vintage country mocha, but it's an Ada, 20 count Ada. I did a color conversion on his skin, and I have pulled this plaid. Not sure if I'm going to use it, but at least I'm making an effort to try and fully finish some of this stuff, you all. Because it's, when you don't have a lot of space, it's rough pulling all this stuff out to finish. But I'm going to do it. And I like this plaid. I think it came from Joann's, but I really like this plaid. I'd like to do the rest of these on a 20 count or maybe even an 18 count. But I'm going to make ornaments out of these as well. Pillow type ornaments. So that's Prairie Schooler Santa 2004. And a couple more. This is Cricut Collection Sugar Cookies. And I need a couple of boards to show you this one because it's a biggie. And it's long. It's not really wide, but this is long. But this was my first Cricut collection. It is done on Frozen Fractals. I believe it's 28 count by Fabrics by Stephanie. But I love it. I did change the lettering to a red DMC. This is a call for DMC, all of it. But I did change the sugar cookies to red, other than I think 437, which is like a tannish, goldish tan, was supposed to be used. And I just didn't like it. It didn't pop enough for me. So I changed it to red. And overall, I'm very pleased. I have no clue how I'm going to finish this. My plan is to get some other Cricut collections. And they're usually pretty seasonal. So I'm thinking maybe get like a basket or something and finish this as a flat finish. And then that way I can switch out the different charts as I get them completed. All right. This next one was a freebie. This is also by October House. It is done on a mystery linen. I believe it's either 28 or 32 count, but this is You Are Loved by October House. And my plan is to finish this as a pillow, but I would like to make that pillow heart shape. So I definitely got to be careful and make sure I cut and tackle everything correctly. So that's why this one hasn't been done yet. But I finished this one, last April or March. And I picked my own colors for this. I just went into my stash and got some pinks and reds that I liked. So again, that's a freebie from October House. And then my last finish for 2023 was probably one of my favorites. And she just came out with a new one. Another one of her charts is on my list to start this year. And that is another October House. This is Honey Fair. March is here, so I'm going to start my bee stitches soon. And this was the one I completed last year. But this is Honey Fair by October House. It is done on the same fabric I did the Mouse Christmas Decorating, which was a 32 count ivory Lugana. And I love it. I love the detail on that hive. I love the colors. I did use the call for colors. It was a mixture of overdyes and a little bit of DMC, I believe. But this one was hands down my favorite finish last year. One of my favorites. Sugar cookies, yeah, it's about neck and neck with sugar cookies. They were both fabulous finishes for me. But this one was quick. I did this one in like 3 months, I think. So this was a very quick stitch. I know that for market, a vineyard, a grape one, just came out. And I have Strawberry Fair ready to be one of my 25 starts this year. So again, Honey Fair. So those were all of my FFOs and finishes for 2023. All right, investments. I keep anytime I buy something and I know I'm going to show it to you all later, I always put it in a box. And this is just a cologne box left over from some cologne I got my husband for Christmas. So I just keep everything in there. So what have I been purchasing? Not a whole lot. I've been trying to be good because I want to use what I have. So I did one day in Hobby Lobby, I splurged on a bunch of DMC variegated flosses. I'm really loving variegated flosses, and there are some smalls that I want to do, and so I'm thinking I'm going to use these DMCs for that, but all kinds of colors, reds, browns, but Hobby Lobby is really the only place that carries them, that I can actually go and look at them. So that's what I've been doing. Every time I go in there, and if I feel like it, I'll go down that aisle and just grab a couple and add them to my cart. So I'm going to start with my fabric first. The first one is a white Lugana 32 count from Color and Cotton. I just needed some white. I just realized I didn't have any white 32 count. So I grabbed that. And most of you know I'm not a big linen stitcher, so Lugana is usually my go-to. My next one is, I'm in the Bestitch Me fabric of the month. I get the neutral and the colorway alternate months. So for December, it must have been a neutral because Dusty Cottage was the color. Love this so much. Can't wait to decide what I'm going to put on it. But this is a 32 count Lugana. That's what I get. And this is again Bestitch Me, Dusty Cottage. The next Bestitch Me was from January. And this is Blue Moon. Again, beautiful and vibrant. That's a pretty true to color. Very true to color. So Blue Moon. Can't wait to figure out what to do on that. Don't have any idea on this one, but I'm definitely ready to use that. And these are all fat quarters, by the way. And I just got this one this week, but this is 32 count Lugana in We Can't Elope. So this was clearly my February. This is looking a little washed out. It's a little more vibrant and orange than this. Let me back up. Nope, it's still reading very pale. Actually, let me flip it over. This side looks like it might be a little brighter. The color is correct. I just think it's a little darker than what it's reading up there. But a very distinctive color. I'm thinking maybe I could put a soda stitch on this. I have one picked out that I want to do this year, and I'm wondering if it'll work on this. So we will see. The other fabric of the month I'm in is Under the Sea Fabrics. This was my January one because I don't think we got a December one. I think she took a little break in December, in December, but this is Frigga. Hopefully I said that correctly, but this was January. And this is pretty true. 32 count Lugana again. That's my go-to. That's my wheelhouse. That's what I love. But I am going to branch out a little bit in 2024. I've got a couple of projects that I've decided I'm probably going to try and tackle in a linen. So we will see. So that's Frigga by Under the Sea Fabrics. And this one I just got yesterday. And this is Rooibos. I know I'm saying that wrong, but you all know what I'm talking about. Usually find it in tea. Rooibos. And this is very true to color, and it looks like Rooibos. It looks like it would be in a tea. That's going to bug me. I hate mispronouncing words. I should have looked it up before I came on here. So I will be looking it up when I get off of here, so I'll know how to say it right the next time. But 32 count. So those are the fabrics that I got. I did get a few charts and some threads. These are just some random threads that I picked up from Color and Cotton. Some of them go to a project, some of them don't. For instance, Enchanted, pretty green. Good Cheer. I just wanted that one. I think somebody mentioned it either on Instagram or in a Flosstube, and I knew I had to get some of that. Bunny Nose. I just love pinks, so I wanted some good pinks. I know Balsam Fir. This is a classic Colorworks. I know it's for one of my hometown holidays. Winter Flannel was a conversion for a project. I don't remember offhand which project, but Winter Flannel is taking the place of another overdyed. So is Golden Gate. Cobbled Peach. I forget which one that goes to, but it goes to a project I already have. Birdhouse is a substitution as well. Nice nutty brown. And Hansel, I believe, is also a substitution. So those were my Color and Cotton purchases for floss. And then my chart was 2012 Santa, the Mailman. I got this one because my dad used to carry mail when I was a kid, when I was a baby. He was a mail carrier. And I got 2 more of the Hometown Holiday series, Town Church, and the Schoolhouse. I think after I do the ice cream shop, I think I might do the Schoolhouse next. I love that red. And then the new Country Cottage Needleworks series is the Cottage Ornaments Pastel Collection. And I got the first one, Christmas House. So those were my charts. And then this last one. This was an order from Etsy. I had seen this floss some time ago, and I decided I was going to get it because I'm ready to start Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. But I wanted one color. I want to do it one color, and I wanted it to be something rich. So again, hopefully I'm saying this right. This is very French. Cerise Noir. Look at that rich purple. And I got 3 hanks of it. Hopefully you all can see that. Cerise Noir. I'll just hold one of them up, I think, so you can see. But I got 3 hanks because by my calculations, a long dog takes 2 and a little bit more. So I wanted to make sure I had enough. And if it doesn't need it, I will gladly use it on something else. But the name of the shop on Etsy is Stitchy Stuff. I'll put that a little closer so you can see it and screenshot it if you want. Stitchy Stuff. And she had it right before Christmas, and I did not purchase it as quickly as I should have, and she ran out. So I just messaged her and I said, hey, when are you planning to restock this? She messaged me back immediately and said, I'm planning to do it this week. Would you like me to contact you? Yes, ma'am. And she did a couple days later, and I went in and I grabbed my 3 hanks. So these are 50-yard hanks, 100% cotton, but I just thought it was a very rich color. If you're interested, go check her out. She had a lot of nice skeins. I'm just ready to get started on some big projects again. And that pandemic has been calling my name. So I'm ready to start, and I got the threads. So now I just have to find fabric. And I'm probably gonna go with something a little more neutral because I want that to really pop. So those are my investments. I have a few shout outs I wanted to give to some fellow Flosstubers that I've been watching lately. I can't thank you all enough for coming to watch me. There is a lot of content out there. And so I just appreciate those of you that have found me, that continue to come back and support me. I cannot thank you enough. May will be 2 years that I have been doing this. So I'm excited to bring more to you. I'm hoping to come before you in a more regular manner this year. That's one of my goals. So I'm looking at about 3 weeks. That's what I'm hoping will be my regular time to come before you and share. But the people that I've been watching, I've got 2 that are established Flosstubers and 2 that are fairly new. So the first one is Home of the Wildflowers. She is not new, but I believe she had a little bit of a hiatus because of a new baby and a new house. But I watched her Wit Parade and one of her more recent videos. Everything she does, I like. Everything she does, I would stitch. Very heavy on long dogs, and she's got some heaven and earth designs, but she likes big projects, so you know that's right up my alley. So please go check her out. Her channel is Home of the Wildflowers, but excellent work, lots of projects, and like I said, she does a lot of things that are definitely my taste. The next person, same thing, lots of things that I would do. K Threads and Stitches. Hopefully you all have found her already, but if you have not, please go check her out. Finishing is divine. I think I've probably shouted her out before, but I can't help it. She's had another recent video, and just the finishing is amazing and inspiring finishing. So K Threads and Stitches, and she has just launched her blog. So she's going into more detail about her finishing and how she does it and what she's doing on her blog. So check her out. I know she's on Instagram as well. So K Threads and Stitches. She's amazing. New people, the New England Stitcher. I have watched a couple of her episodes and I just thought it was really sweet. I think she has 2 daughters and they were in the wings during her video. I believe it was her Wit Parade, her first video. And one would hand her the project and then the other one would take it. But I never saw them on screen. So I just thought that was super cute that her family was involved. But the New England Stitcher, go check her out. She's also a quilter. So of course that is also one of my loves. So I'm enjoying watching her so far. I believe she has about 5 videos and I've only watched a couple, but excellent work. And then finally is Jim's Stitches. My sister is in Oklahoma and she does fabulous work, lots of samplers, but she also has a wide variety of what she stitches, but just a very sweet spirit, and I just am enjoying her light. I'm enjoying experiencing her light in her videos. So please go check out Jim's Stitches. She has a different name on her Flosstube. Her Flosstube name is not Jim's Stitches, but it's, I don't want to say it incorrectly, so I'm going to put it down here so you can go find her page, but it's her first and her last name. So I'm going to put that down here so you can go find her, but she goes by Jim. So Jim Stitches, and I believe she's also on Instagram. So those were the people that I wanted to mention this video. I want to thank you all again for supporting my Etsy shop. I have spring bags going in, lots of florals, more ethnic and African prints, and I think I have a St. Patrick's Day in there. Still got some Valentine bags, and then again more florals, and what else do I have? I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Oh, bees, more bee bags, strawberry bags, and I'm also doing some more patchwork bags. So if you're interested in that, Layla P Creations, I will link it below, is the name of my shop, and I just continue to appreciate you all. Plans, very quickly, plans. Spring break is fast approaching for me, thank the Lord, okay? About 3 weeks away. So that will be when I come back before you. Yes, that is not quite a full 3 weeks away, but I'm going to have the time to video. So that's why I'm definitely going to come back that in part of March. But during that time, I'm going to have 2 new starts. I'm going to start the theater from Big City Christmas. And the other item I'm going to start, where'd I put it? And that is, oh, I don't know what I did with it. Tutor Bee. Okay. Oh, here it is. Tutor Bee. And here are my threads. I did a conversion. Excuse this zipper, but Tutor Bee by the Blue Flower. I've never done a blue flower project before, so I'm looking forward to this one. But keeping with my bee theme, now that it's spring, I'm breaking this one out, and this will be one of my new starts. So next time, hopefully, I will be up to 4 new starts for the year. I'm also going to pull out Hive Rules by Primrose Cottage. I want to finish that this year, and I would like to finish it during these warm months before the end of the summer. So I'm going to pull Hive Rules out. I'm also going to pull out my Bengal Tiger that I showed quite a few times. That was a start on New Year's Eve 2022. I want to get some good time into him and possibly finish him this year as well. So I'm definitely going to pull those 2 out. And then I'm also going to pull out one of my Teresa Winsler rocking horses. It's time to put some stitches in those. So those are the 3 that I'm going to pull out as whips. I'm going to continue working on the Lipton iced tea. I'm also going to continue on 1 dozen Quakers, of course. And of course, I'm going to continue on Vintage Baker. Vintage Baker, because it's spring break, I'm going to work on that every single day of spring break. But I'm also going to work on another project, but I'm going to work on a different project every single day. So I'm going to be working on hopefully 2 projects a day. So a different project, hopefully those whips I just mentioned, and then I'm also going to work on Vintage Baker because I would like to get back to 2,000 stitches on that for March. I think I did 150 yesterday, so I'm off to a good start. What else? Just continue to kit up projects. 25 starts in a year is a lot, and while I have plenty of charts to pull from, I don't necessarily have all the fabrics still. But these fabrics of the month that I have been participating in purchasing from, I should have something to pull from for some of those. And then I've got some sewing that I need to do. Layla's prom is coming up, so I have to pick a pattern and get started on picking some fabric. We're trying to decide what color she wants for sure, but almost anything looks good on her. So we got to find a pattern and get started on that. Her prom is April 20th. So March is the month that we got to get at least the supplies. The sewing part, y'all know it don't take me long, but I got to get the supplies. And then finally, I have to sew a dress for myself. Layla is participating in the Alpha Kappa Alpha Scholarship Cotillion Fashionetta. If you are familiar with Alpha Kappa Alpha, most chapters or cities have a chapter that participate in that event. She is a debutante. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my post about that. She still needs a dress for that. So if anybody knows where I can get a good debutante dress, let me know. I'm probably going to have to end up going to a bridal shop. I wanted to make it, but I feel like that might have been too much. It's still on the table, but if anybody has a good place online that I could get a dress from for her, it just needs to be white and floor length, and I have to put a hoop up under it. But I have to have a dress. I have to wear a pink dress. Y'all know I'm not, well, you might not know, I'm not a shopper for clothes. I never have been. So I'm gonna make my dress. I have until Memorial Day weekend to get it done. So again, I just need to pick a pattern and fabric. It has to be floor length and it has to be pink. So I've got a couple of things I gotta get going on for sewing. So that is what I will be doing during spring break as well, is getting myself together for my sewing projects. I think that's it. I don't know how long this is going to end up being once I edit, but I hope you enjoyed it. I am so glad you are with me. I would love to hear from you all. What kind of things do you want me to cover? What kind of things do you want me to talk about, if anything other than just my stitching? Anything you want me to show you, anything of that nature. I also plan to get back to some quilting and other bag making, not necessarily project bags. I need to get some other bags made, totes and things of that nature for myself. But that's pretty much it. So again, thank you for coming. You can always follow me on Instagram at CoryCreates 08 is my handle on there. And of course, Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, invite them over. And I hope to see you for my next video. Please continue to comment. I love reading all of your comments. And I can't thank you enough for being with me. Have a great rest of March. And I will see you in a few weeks. Be blessed.